So I stayed. Not in the mansion. In the city. I went back to the real world. I got a new job at a bookstore. Quiet. Smelled like paper and dust. The customers were nicer than the coffee shop. No one yelled about muffins. I found a small apartment. One room. A bed, a table, a window that faced a brick wall. No moon. No ivy. No cold tombs. It was normal. Boring. Safe. And I hated every second of it. Because normal doesn't feel good after you've lived with a vampire. Normal is gray. He was color. Even when he was sad. Even when he was cold. He was color. And without him, everything faded. I tried to date. A guy named Mark from the bookstore. He had brown hair and kind eyes. He brought me flowers. He opened doors. He was perfect on paper. But every time he hugged me, his body was warm. Too warm. I had gotten used to cold. Warm felt wrong. We dated for 3 weeks. Then he kissed me. His lips were soft. Human. Alive. And I started crying. Right there. In the middle of the kiss. He pulled back. Luna? What's wrong? Nothing. Everything. I'm sorry. I can't do this. Did I do something? No. You did everything right. That's the problem. I broke up with him the next day. He was confused. I didn't explain. How do you explain? Sorry, Mark, you're lovely, but I'm in love with a 400-year-old blood drinker who left me to save my life. Yeah, that would go well. Months passed. 6 months. Then 8. I stopped counting. I went to work. I came home. I ate noodles. I watched bad TV. I didn't laugh. Not really. I smiled at customers because it was my job. But inside, I was a library with no books. A piano with no keys. One night, I couldn't sleep. I sat by my brick wall window and talked to myself. I do that now. It's sad, but also helpful. Luna, I said to myself, you are being an idiot. He left for a reason. He doesn't want you. He never wanted you. He wanted your blood. You were a meal with feelings. Get over it. But myself didn't listen. Because I remembered the way he sat on the floor next to my bed. The way he said my name like a prayer. The way he threw that burnt pot out the window. The way he knelt in front of me and said, you are not going to die. That's not a master. That's a man. A scared, lonely, broken man who happened to have fangs. So I made a decision. A stupid decision. The kind of decision you make at 2 a.m. when your brain is tired and your heart is loud. I decided to find him. I went back to the mansion first. It was empty. Cobwebs everywhere. Dust on the tables. My room still had the black sheets. I opened the drawer where I hid my mirror. It was still there. I looked at myself. Same face. Same eyes. Different soul. I searched the mansion for clues. In the library, I found an old map. Markings in red ink. One marking said North Forest. Old hunting grounds. I remembered his letter. I have gone to the north. So I went north. I took a bus. Then a train. Then another bus. Then I walked. For 2 days. I carried a backpack with water and bread and a flashlight. I looked like a lost hiker. I felt like a lost everything. The forest was thick. Pine trees. Cold air. No sound except birds and my own footsteps. I walked until my feet hurt. Until my legs shook. Until I started talking to myself again. You're crazy, I said. He's a vampire. He can hide forever. You'll never find him. Then I heard it. A noise. Not an animal. A voice. Singing. Old language. Latin. The same Latin he tried to teach me. He was singing a sad song. Slow. Like a lullaby for the dead. I followed the sound. Through the trees. Over a small stream. Up a hill. And there he was. Sitting on a fallen log. His back to me. His black hair dirty. His clothes torn. He looked thin. So thin. And he was singing to himself. Not to anyone. Just to the forest. I stepped on a branch. It snapped. He stopped singing. Turned around. His gray eyes went wide. Luna. I started crying. Again. I cry a lot in this story. Sorry. But if you were me, you would cry too. You look terrible, I said. He stood up slowly. Weak. You look alive. I am alive. Against your wishes. He shook his head. Against my wishes? I left so you could be alive. Well, I don't want to be alive if alive means without you. He stared at me. His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. You are impossible. I know. You are stubborn. I know. You are going to get yourself killed. Probably. But not today. He walked toward me. Each step was shaky. He hadn't eaten well. Animal blood wasn't enough. He was starving. I could see it in his face. In the hollow of his cheeks. Luna, you need to go back, he said. I'm dangerous. I haven't fed properly in months. If I lose control, then don't lose control. It's not that simple. Then make it simple. I stepped closer. Bite me. He flinched. No. Kale, listen to me. I am here. I am healthy. My blood is strong. Take one bite. Just one. Enough to get you back to the mansion. Then we figure out the rest. The rest? His voice broke. There is no rest. There is only you dying and me watching. Then watch me live first. We stood there, in the middle of the forest. Two broken people. One vampire. One human. Both too scared to move. Then he did something I didn't expect. He fell to his knees. Not kneeling. Collapsing. His body gave out. He caught himself with his hands. His shoulders shook. He was crying. Vampire master. Crying in the dirt. I don't want to be alone anymore, he whispered. But I don't want to kill you. I'm stuck. I've been stuck for 400 years. I knelt in front of him. Took his cold face in my warm hands. Then let's be stuck together. He looked at me. Really looked. Like he was seeing me for the first time. You're not scared. Terrified. But being scared and doing it anyway? That's called brave. Or stupid. I haven't figured out which. He laughed. A wet, tear-filled laugh. Both. It's both. I tilted my head. Offered my neck. One bite. Then we go home. He hesitated. His hand touched my neck. Cold. Gentle. I love you, Luna. First time he said it. First time anyone said it and meant it since my mother died. I know, I said. Now bite me before I change my mind. He bit me. Gentle. Soft. Not like before. This time it was slow. Careful. He took only a little. Pulled away fast. Licked the wound closed. His eyes got color back. His skin looked less gray. He stood up. Stronger. Okay, he said. Okay, let's go home. We walked out of the forest together. Him holding my hand. His cold fingers laced with my warm ones. We didn't talk. We didn't need to. The bus ride back was strange. He wore a hood to cover his face from the sun. The other passengers thought he was a tired traveler. They didn't know he was a creature of the night holding hands with a girl who should have run away. We got back to the mansion. It was still dusty. Still cold. Still full of ghosts. But it was home. The first night back, he didn't bite me again. He made me soup. I didn't know vampires could cook. He said, I've had 400 years to learn. I just never had anyone to cook for. The soup was good. Better than my burnt pot. We sat in the kitchen. Eating. Well, I ate. He watched. And talked. I have a condition, he said. What condition? We need rules. New rules. Okay. Like what? Rule 1. You are not my slave anymore. You are my partner. Equal. No master. No servant. I raised my eyebrows. Really? Really. Rule 2. You only let me bite you once a week. No more. I will hunt animals the rest of the time. It's not good, but it's enough. Once a week. Once a week. And rule 3, he paused. You don't give up your life. You go outside. You see friends. You bake bread for yourself. You live. Because if you only live for me, then I become your prison. And I refuse to be that. I put down my spoon. Kale, I don't have friends. I have you. Then make friends. Humans need humans. Vampires need blood. But we also need love. And I have your love. So you need to find other things too. He was right. I hated when he was right. So I tried. I went back to the bookstore job. I told my boss I had been sick. He believed me. I made a friend. Her name is Sarah. She's loud and laughs too much and wears bright yellow dresses. She's everything I'm not. And I love her. Not romantic love. Friend love. The kind that saves you on bad days. I told Sarah about Kale. Not the vampire part. I said he was my boyfriend who had health issues and couldn't go out in the sun. She thought he was mysterious. She asked for a photo. I said he didn't photograph well. True. Vampires don't show up in pictures. Try explaining that. Every evening, I went home to the mansion. Every evening, Kale was there. Waiting. He learned to cook more things. He made bread. Good bread. Better than mine. I was jealous. And every Sunday evening, I sat on the bed. He knocked 3 times. I said, "Come in." He asked, "May I?" I said yes. 1 bite. Slow. Gentle. Enough to keep him strong. Enough to keep us close. Life became a rhythm. Morning, bookstore. Afternoon, coffee with Sarah. Evening, mansion. Sunset, Kale. Night, sleep in his arms. His cold arms. I got used to the cold. Now warm feels strange. Isn't that funny? Love changes your temperature. But happy stories have problems. You know that. You've watched enough movies. The happy part never lasts without a third act breakup. Ours came in the form of a question. One night, after the bite, I was lying on his chest, listening to no heartbeat. Vampires don't have heartbeats. But I pretended. "Kale," I said, "will you turn me?" His body went stiff. What? Turn me. Make me a vampire. So I don't grow old. So we can be together forever. He sat up, pushed me gently away. His face was serious. More serious than I had ever seen. No. Why not? Because I told you. Turning someone is not a gift. It's a curse. You will never see the sun again. You will never taste real food. You will watch everyone you love die. Your friends. Sarah. Any family you have left. They will grow old and die while you stay the same. And one day, you will hate me for it. I could never hate you. You say that now. But forever is a long time, Luna. I have lived 400 years. I have seen everything I loved turn to dust. I will not do that to you. I started crying. Again. So what? I just grow old? I get wrinkles? I die? And you find another slave? Another Luna. He grabbed my face. Firm. There will never be another Luna. Never. When you die, I will mourn you for another 400 years. But at least you will have lived. Really lived. With sunrises and birthdays and children if you want them. I will not steal that from you. But I want to steal forever with you. He pulled me close. Held me. I know, little one. I know. But I love you too much to make you a monster. That word. Monster. He still believed he was one. Even after everything. Even after the soup and the Latin lessons and the way he held me when I had nightmares. He still looked in the mirror he couldn't see himself in and saw a monster. I decided then that I would spend the rest of my life proving him wrong. However long that life was. Years passed. I don't mean 2 or 3. I mean 10. Then 15. Then 20. I stayed in the mansion. I kept my bookstore job until I was 40. Then I opened my own little shop. Sold used books and tea. Sarah helped me run it. She got married. Had 2 kids. Named one after me. Little Luna. She has curly hair and calls me Andy. I watched Sarah's kids grow up. I watched Sarah get gray hair. I watched her laugh lines turn into real wrinkles. And every time I saw her age, I felt a small pain in my chest. Not jealousy, just awareness. I was aging too. Slower than her because of Kale's bites. Vampire blood in my system kept me younger longer, but still aging. By the time I was 50, I looked 35. By the time I was 60, I looked 45. Kale stayed the same. Always the same. Gray eyes. Black hair. Pale skin. He watched me change and never said a word. But I saw the sadness in his eyes when he looked at the first gray hair on my head. "You're still beautiful," he said. "I'm getting old. You're getting alive. There's a difference." He still bit me once a week. Still cooked for me. Still taught me old languages. I got good at Latin. and Greek, and a little bit of Egyptian. I'm not fluent, but I can curse in 3 dead languages. That's a fun party trick. We had fights. Normal couple fights. He forgot to clean the kitchen. I left my shoes in the hallway. He hated when I left the windows open because sunlight faded the furniture. I said furniture doesn't have feelings. He said, "This furniture is older than your country, Luna. Show some respect." We laughed. We cried. We sat in silence. We held hands in the dark. It was love. Real love. Not the fairy tale kind. The kind that smells like old books and burnt soup and cold fingers holding warm ones. But here's the thing about real love. It doesn't stop the clock. When I turned 65, I got sick. Not vampire-related. Just human. My body was tired. My heart, my real heart, the one inside my chest, started having problems. The doctor said it was age. He said, "Luna, you need to slow down." I didn't tell Kale. I tried to hide it. But vampires notice everything. They notice your heartbeat. They notice when it skips. One night, after the bite, he put his ear to my chest. Listened. Stayed there for a long time. "Your heart is weak," he said. "It's fine." "It's not fine. It's slowing down." I didn't answer. He looked at me. His gray eyes were wet. "Luna, I have a choice to make. I can watch you die, or I can turn you now. It might be too late, but it might work." I felt my own eyes fill. "You said you would never turn me." I said I wouldn't turn a young girl with her whole life ahead of her. "You're not young anymore. Your whole life has been lived. You have seen sunrises. You have loved. You have been loved. If I turn you now, you won't lose a human life. You'll just keep living. But I'll be a monster." He flinched. "Don't say that. You said it. For 400 years, you called yourself a monster." He took my hands. I was wrong. I'm not a monster. I'm a man who made bad choices and lived too long. But you, Luna, you were never a monster. You were light. And if I turn you, you will still be light. Just colder light. I laughed. Cried and laughed at the same time. That's the worst poetry I've ever heard. I'm a vampire, not a poet. So I made the choice. Not because I was scared to die. I had made peace with dying years ago. Every human does eventually. But I made the choice because I wanted more mornings with him. More burnt soup. More Latin arguments. More cold hands holding mine. "Do it," I said. He kissed my forehead. "This will hurt." "I know. You can't change your mind after." "I won't." He bit me. But this time, he didn't stop. He drank. And drank. And drank. I felt my body go cold. My heartbeat slowed. Slower. Slower. I closed my eyes. I heard him whisper, "Stay with me, Luna. Stay." Then he cut his own wrist. Pressed it to my lips. "Drink." I tasted his blood. It was cold. Metallic. Like drinking liquid shadow. It burned going down. My whole body caught fire. Every nerve. Every bone. Every memory. I screamed. Or I think I did. I couldn't hear anything. Just fire. And then darkness. I woke up 3 days later. The first thing I noticed was the silence. No heartbeat. My chest was still. Not slow. Still. The second thing I noticed was the hunger. Not for food. For blood. A deep, empty ache in my throat. The third thing I noticed was Kale. Sitting next to the bed. Watching me. He hadn't moved in 3 days. His eyes were red from crying. "Welcome back," he whispered. I opened my mouth. My voice was different. Lower. Smoother. "Did it work?" "You tell me." "Look in the mirror." I walked to the mirror I had hidden in the drawer for so many years. I looked. No reflection. I started laughing. Loud. Crazy. I'm a ghost. A pretty ghost, but still a ghost. He came behind me. Put his hands on my shoulders. "You're a vampire, Luna. My vampire. I thought you didn't want to curse me." I changed my mind. Curse or gift, I don't care anymore. I just couldn't watch you die. I turned around. Looked at him. Really looked. He was still the same. But I was different. I could see better. Hear better. Smell better. I could hear Sarah's heartbeat 3 blocks away. I could smell the bread baking in a house down the street. The world was louder, brighter, more. I'm hungry, I said. He smiled. That real smile. Let me teach you. That night, he took me hunting. Not humans. Animals. Deer. He showed me how to move fast. How to be quiet. How to bite without making a mess. It was strange. And scary. And also a little fun. Like learning to ride a bike if the bike had fangs. I hated the first taste of deer blood. It was warm. Gamey. Not like his blood. His blood was cold and sweet. Deer blood was earthy. But it stopped the hunger. And that was enough. The first year as a vampire was hard. I missed the sun. I missed the warmth. I missed Sarah's birthday parties because they were during the day. I told her I had a rare skin condition. She believed me because she's a good friend. But I saw the sadness in her eyes. She knew something was wrong. She just didn't ask. I watched Sarah get older. 60, 70, 80. Her hair turned white. Her hands shook. Her laugh stayed loud. And I stayed young. Forever 35. Forever cold. Forever hungry. One night, when Sarah was 82, I visited her at the nursing home. It was dark outside. She was awake, watching TV. She looked at me and smiled. "Luna," she said, "you haven't aged a day." "Good genes," I said. She laughed. "Good genes, my foot. I'm not stupid. I've known for years." "Known what?" "That you're not normal. You don't eat. You don't go out in the sun. Your boyfriend never ages either. And you have those little marks on your neck." She pointed. "I'm old, Luna. Not blind." I sat on her bed, took her hand. Her skin was warm, papery, human. "Are you scared of me?" "Scared?" "Honey, I've changed your nephew's diapers." "I'm not scared of anything." She squeezed my hand. "You're still my Luna, even if you drink blood." I started crying. Vampire tears. They're the same as human tears. Salty, wet, sad. "I'm going to outlive you," I whispered. "I know. That's the deal with my kind. We die. Your kind keeps going. It's okay. It's not okay. It is. Because you'll remember me. And I'll be gone, so I won't feel sad. You get all the sad parts. That's the price of being the one who stays." She died 2 weeks later. In her sleep. Peaceful. I went to the funeral. Stood in the shadows. Watched her kids and grandkids and little Luna cry. I didn't cry. I had no tears left. I just stood there. Cold. Still. A statue in black. Kale held my hand afterward. "Are you okay?" "No. But I will be. Eventually." "That's the secret," he said. Eventually. After Sarah died, something shifted in me. I understood why Kale had been so afraid to turn me. Losing someone you love is hard when you're human. When you're a vampire, it's 1,000 times worse because you have to do it again. And again. And again. But I also understood something else. Love is not about time. It's about depth. Sarah was only in my life for 22 years. But those 22 years were so full that they filled the next 100. Love doesn't need forever. Love needs now. I'm older now. Not in body. In soul. I've been a vampire for 30 years. I've watched generations of Sarah's family grow up. I've watched cities change. Trees get cut down and new trees planted. I've watched Kale finally stop calling himself a monster. He calls himself my partner now. My equal. My cold, strange, beautiful partner. We don't do the master-slave thing anymore. That was a different life. A different Luna. Back when I was sad and lonely and didn't know my own worth. Back when I thought love meant giving yourself away piece by piece until there was nothing left. Now I know better. Love means standing next to someone. Not behind them. Not in front of them. Next to them. In the dark. In the cold. In the quiet. Kale and I sit on the roof of the mansion every night. We watch the stars. He points out constellations that have moved since he was human. I pretend to care. He laughs. I laugh. The moon is bright. The wind is cold. And we are both cold. So it's fine. "Are you happy?" he asks me sometimes. Yes. Even though you can't eat real food? Even though you'll never see another sunrise? Even though you'll watch everyone you love die? Yes, because I get to watch you not die. And that's enough. He smiles, puts his cold arm around me. I lean into him. Two cold bodies. No heartbeats. No warmth. But there is something else. Something harder to name. It feels like the opposite of loneliness. It feels like home. So here I am. Luna. Former slave. Former human. Current vampire. Current lover of a 400-year-old master who turned out to be just as scared and lost as I was. If you're listening to this story because you're learning English, I hope you learned some new words. But I hope you learned something else too. Love is not about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who sees your broken parts and says, I'll hold these for you. And if you're listening because you're sad, because you lost someone, because you feel alone, because you think no one will ever love the messy, tired, sad version of you, I want you to know something. I was you. I was the girl crying over instant noodles. I was the girl who said yes to a vampire because loneliness was louder than fear. And I survived. Not just survived. I lived. I loved. I lost. I kept going. You will too. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tomorrow. But eventually. And eventually is enough. Now, if you'll excuse me, Kale is calling me. He burnt the soup again. Some things never change. Even after 400 years.